Okay, try that. Feels like I'm hearing some background. Oh, I see where this is coming from. Give me a second. There it is. Okay. All right. Just wanted to pop on here, give you guys an update. We haven't had a lot of winter weather to get excited about in recent weeks, but here it is, January 24th. This is the climatologically coldest part of the year. The end of January typically for most of the United States. Most of the eastern U.S. has received less than average snowfall, but it looks like we're going to be playing some catch up here over the next couple of days. Honestly, next few weeks look like we're going to go into a pretty active period. This program here, though, will be focused on the early week winter storm that is on the way that will be impacting portions of the plains, and then the Midwest, Great Lakes, parts of the Northeast, and Appalachians. So we'll jump right on into that. I appreciate you guys being here as always. And if you don't mind, a quick like and share of the program. As always, it is appreciated. I am going to get this up. I just mentioned it to my friends over on Twitter, and I did want to throw this update up over also as well on my primary Facebook page. Follow me if you don't already. We are trying to expand all of our social media platforms. So this YouTube channel, it is our primary weather hub. So for live streaming weather information, you'll get it right here. So that is now over on my Facebook. It's over on the Twitter. One day I'll be getting to use Parler again. Don't get me started. Let's see who we have on, and we'll jump right on into the data. You can see we've got the winter storm warning that's now been posted just to the west of Chicago, and that goes all the way across the Central Plains as well. Pretty impactful storm expected to reach many areas in the plains. Let's make no mistake about this. That's where the worst is going to occur. The storm's going to spin up fast. It's going to put down some very heavy snowfall for portions of northern Kansas, southeastern Nebraska, and the southern half of Iowa, maybe northern Missouri, and Illinois. What happens beyond that, I think it's becoming clear, it is going to bring snow to portions of the Northeast, I like the lower Great Lakes. I like western central New York for several inches. So we're going to get to that part of the forecast coming up in a couple of minutes. But right now we've got Dee Dee, we've got Mike, we've got Betty, Cheryl, Echo on here, and we appreciate you guys being on. Echo says, I thought this was supposed to be a mild winter, so much for that. It really depends on your location. So far, I know in the Ohio Valley, much of western New York, it's not been too bad so far. In fact, I think it's been pretty mild, but we do have some payback, and I think it's coming our way. Let's take a look at some of the other weather activity we've got across the region, and go. There you go. This is the GOES infrared satellite imagery over the continental United States right now. I'm working on, by the way, incorporating some of this radar imagery, hopefully soon, into our primary radar source, which we'll have coming up. But it's very evident to see where that counterclockwise rotation is, area of low pressure, digging through Baja of California into the desert southwest. This low will eject out into the Rockies, as it oftentimes does, and then it's going to make its way right into the Atlantic. Areas north of this line, that's where you're going to be subject for some snowfall. Areas south, it's going to be rain. So there's the snow. You could see some strong thunderstorms into portions of Texas and also into Oklahoma. We'll take a closer up look at this upper low pressure here before we get into some model data. And here we go. This will take you right on into the Lone Star State, showing you that area of low pressure as it's rapidly spinning. And again, we're just now beginning to see a little bit of precipitation developing, including some thunderstorms across the Red River Valley. There is, in fact, a slight chance of severe weather across the Red River Valley. Take a look at this. There you go. That's northern and central, northern and eastern Texas, southern portions of Oklahoma. Current convective outlook does show that probability, tornado probability, very small, 2%, but wind and hail, it's legitimate for a slight risk. It's January. It's very early season if you want to look at it like spring. It's really not. I mean, we are at the lull, the winter lull for severe weather, but it does sometimes happen. And so that's what that is for. Again, there's the satellite. I'm going to bring up your radar next. And we'll start you with a closer up look at those warnings and watches. And this program will shoot for around 20 minutes total time. It's not going to be a lot. Maybe a little less if I can speed up. I'm going to try. Okay, so here's radar. We've got watches and warnings. The warning's there in pink. That's the winter storm warning. In pink, I'm waiting to see what they're going to do in Chicago. It's not on my warning map yet, but I'm curious what they're going to do. I think they should go warning. That's just me. I think the data warrants it. And let's see what they're doing for Chicago. And it looks like they are going to go warning. The warning is in for Chicago. It's not on my map, but just know that if you're in Chicago, that is a winter storm warning for you. Let's see how much snowfall they're expecting for the Windy City. Winter storm warning for Chicago. And that goes into effect 4 p.m. tomorrow. Remains in effect until 5 p.m. Central Time on Tuesday. And waiting to see how much they're forecasting. My guess is like, I'm going to say 5 to 10, 6 to 12 maybe. That's my guess. Okay, we'll come back to that. Waiting for that to populate. I'll get you that information from the Weather Service. Otherwise, that's a pretty large area underneath the winter weather advisory, including much of southern, southwestern Michigan, from Grand Rapids through Kalamazoo, Lansing, down into Indiana, Fort Wayne, Indianapolis, West Lafayette, down to Cincinnati and Dayton. And then you make your way into central portions of Illinois. That's a winter weather advisory, and the winter weather advisory does extend further south and west into western portions of Nebraska and also Kansas, and into far northern portions of the Texas Panhandle. All right, so Weather Service is saying winter storm warning. They're going 5 to 8. I like 5 to 10 for Chicago. They're going 5 to 8. That's enough to cause a mess, though. And then again, as we mentioned, we'll see more warnings, or excuse me, more snowfall as it moves further east. Here's a look at the NAM. And this is it as it moves through Chicago during the day tomorrow, ending tomorrow night. Make that Tuesday, and then ending. So let's rewind this. Here you go. This is tonight. You can see the snow rapidly developing across portions of the plains. There will be an area there of mixed bag for central Kansas. Then we'll watch that low as it quickly intensifies, and then it doesn't. And then it begins to unwind as it gradually moves to the east. That's why I think the snows will be much gentler for portions of the Midwest and Great Lakes. But in some areas with lake enhancement, if not lake effect, I think that they could see, again, some pretty decent accumulations. Not awesome accumulations, but decent accumulations for western and into central New York. I think that's coming. Let's see. I'm going to update my model data for you here in just a moment. Then we'll take a look at the Euro and then snowfall amounts in that order. All right, and let's see if we can't go ahead and bring in U.S. radar loop. I'll have that loading for you now. So we take a look. This is the NAM. Let's go ahead and load in the larger model, which is the Euro. And as most of you, maybe many of you guys know, the Euro is able to go out further than the high-res NAM, which is more of a short-term weather model. So let's take a look. Out a little further, here's the European. This covers all the eastern United States. There's the low, gets going, gets cranking. Good snows for the plains. And then general snows across portions of the Great Lakes. It's kind of like high speed. So let's take a look at totals. I'll come back to current radar as I'm loading that now. Okay, real quick, we got 25 on here. Thank you very much. Please hit the like button if you haven't already, and be sure to hit the notification bell next time we're on. We will be more regular with these Weather Live programs, and we would love to have you guys come back. Echo on here, winter mix and rain is worse than snow. Change my mind. I agree. Up to a degree. I mean, up to about a foot of snow. 100% agree with you. And then anything above a foot, we got problems. Mike on here, I'm looking forward to some heavy snow. How many inches? Mike, where are you at? Are you in western New York? Where are you at? You have to let me know. And just got an update with my radar, new software, and the radar still doesn't always load. Don't get me started. All right, well, that's fine. We just won't show the radar update I was hoping for. That's all right. Let's go on to the model data. I do have that for you. We've got 30 on here, so keep the likes going. Appreciate you. And let's move ahead in the program, where there's kind of the wider view with the warnings, thanks to our friends over at Pivotal Weather. Let's see if we can't do that. I'm doing a live program here, little girl, so let's keep it down. Keep it down. Keep it down. All right, and there you have it. So let's take a look again, new model data. Then we'll take a look as well at those snowfall totals for you coming up in just a couple of moments. But here is that Euro from earlier, and it continues to be the most bullish. I showed some of this data earlier through my social media, where all the models agree it's going to ramp up quick. The Euro brings it to about a 997 low or so, and then it kind of flattens it, and it just kind of meanders to the east as it does so. It will bring with it some of the heavier totals. There's a look into the northeast. Snow really is going to hold off. If you're in Rochester, it's going to hold off probably till late morning. So late morning Tuesday, and then it's going to snow the rest of the day. And it'll snow most of Tuesday night, if not all Tuesday night. So that's where you're going to get your accumulations. Here's a look at some of the snowfall totals. I'm still playing with my radar. Mad at this thing. It's just, anybody familiar with WSV3? It makes me want to pull my hair out. Sometimes it's great when it works, and then other times it just refuses to work. Hold on. Oh, never mind. As I said that, I got it to work. It's amazing. It's amazing. Okay. Sorry. That was a mini rant. Okay. Of course, I do want temperatures. It's not going to give me that, but that's all right. We'll come back on over. So there's a look at your NAM. Nope, make that Euro snowfall. And it's got a large area of 12 to 20 inches. I think 20, somebody will probably measure 20. But I really like them for 12 to 16, 12 to 18 inches for northern Kansas and portions of Nebraska and Iowa. All right, let's take a look at that troublesome radar. There you go. And then we'll take a look at snow totals for the Northeast before we wrap this one up. Okay, get the radar up. It won't give me, oh, there we go. Maybe it will give me, there's temperatures now. We're better. We're doing better. All right, we got a little bit of light snow making its way through PA. Not all that reaching the ground in far western, southwestern New York. Temperature 23, Rochester, Buffalo's 27. Bit of a warm front here. Ahead of our main low, which is just now beginning to get going. And you got to really kind of have a trained eye to even see the low here, but it's on your map. Low here, Arizona. So there's a warm front draped right through here. That's where we're seeing thunderstorm activity developing. That's where there is going to be a risk of some stronger thunderstorms tonight. But the area of snow, it hasn't really developed yet, but it's going to be out here. Points to the north. That's where it's going to at least get started. And this is pretty favorable area considering the time of the year. Climatologically speaking, you get a low that rips through the southern Appalachians, and that makes a lot of sense. All right, so let's come on over. Let's go on back and take a look at snowfall totals for the rest of the region. By the way, it's about 10 minutes after 5 Eastern Time, January 24th. I'm your host, Jeremy Capel. Thanks for being here. Okay, so now covering snowfall totals for the rest of the region. We'll start right here in western New York. So let's bring in those totals. I'm going to start you with precipitation amounts so I can give you an idea. Before I just give you raw model output, I'll tell you what I'm thinking. This is, of course, going to be all snow for western New York. There you go. And these are the largest numbers we've seen out of the Euro. And the Euro is the most bullish, I believe, of all the models. There's a trend here, and I believe what it's doing is it's capturing. Now, this is liquid. I want you guys to realize what you're looking at. It's liquid totals. So basically, if you were to take everything that falls and then you melt it, this is what you end up with. And this is not unsubstantial. You're talking about a very large area of 1/3+ inches of snow. And notice how it mirrors Lake Ontario and to the south. I think you're going to see some lake enhancement here. And particularly right there for that I-90 corridor north, maybe into the Syracuse area to Rochester, where it's showing 4/10 and locally maybe even 5/10 of an inch of snow. That could sneak up on us. At the minimum, that's 4 or 5 inches of snow, but I think it's more. And the reason I think it's more, if this verifies, is because of the temperature. Take a look at the expected air temperatures here. And air temperature tomorrow, I'd make that into the day on Tuesday. I beg your forgiveness here. You're not allowed to make a mistake on social media, as we have found out. I'm joking, of course. Completely tongue-in-cheek. But here you go. Temperatures. But temperatures are going to be cold. So this is tomorrow evening, tomorrow night, low 20s, maybe some upper teens. We wake up with snow beginning to fall, 23, 24 degrees, but it doesn't warm up. High temperature, maybe 28, 27, 28 degrees for Rochester on Tuesday. And the temperature up above us will be even colder. So let's take a look at these 850 temperatures. And this is in Celsius. We don't get any warmer than about 4 below. So it's good and cold all up and down the column. So instead of a direct 1-to-1 snowfall ratio, rain to snow, I think we're probably looking at something a little deeper. So this would be a 10 to 1. 10 to 1 would produce these snowfall amounts. And again, it's enough to make a mess. It's not enough to, it's enough to make a mess. You'll do some shoveling. But I think that this is light. I think it's going to be more than this, because 10 to 1 is what you would expect if the air temperatures are around freezing. We're going to be a good 5 degrees, if not at times, 10 degrees below freezing during this event. And as such, I would expect higher snow ratios. So how much? Maybe 4 inches is low for Rochester. Could we be seeing 7? And that's what the new model is showing. Locally 7. I'm going to stick with my forecast of 3 to 6. But I'm really hedging that higher end right now. 5, 6, and could we get locally 7? I think so. Especially, again, with the help of lake enhancement coming off of Lake Ontario. Those waters are still very, very much relatively warm. All right, so this is my expectation for Western New York. What about the rest of the region? And then we'll finish up with questions and comments. As promised, I don't want to make this too long, although I feel I'm already longer than I said I would be. It happens. Okay, so here's all of New England. Let's go Eastern U.S. Now let's take a look at the plains, where, again, I think the snowfall is going to be a lot more. This is 24-hour snowfall, so your plains are going to be more. And Great Lakes, where did you go? You're right in front of me. There's that. And then, as we showed you earlier, but I'll do a closer up view right across the central U.S. here. And we're going to go back to our parameter, not 24, total snow accumulations. And yeah, there you go. Our friends back home in Kansas spent about 3.5 years out that way. Looking at nothing, or you're looking at a lot in Kansas. And again, it's the usual suspects. Southeastern Kansas, Wichita, not looking at a whole lot. And maybe Topeka not looking at a lot. But, man, you go a short distance north towards the Nebraska line, bam! That's the Euro showing like 20 inches, so that's a lot of snow. Okay, who do we have on the program? Thanks for being here. I've got John Joseph Colasaco of Kingdom Proprietors on. Thank you, my friend, for being on here as always. I'm at your service. Nathan on here. We got some light snow yesterday here in Fargo, up to about 1.5 inches, 2 inches. Got a little snow behind me here, by the way. See that? We had some early going into the weekend, probably 6 inches on average. It was more for parts of Western New York, but it was, it's the typical lake effect. It affects some people, and then other people maybe not so much. Cheryl on here. What about Lions and Red Creek, Jeremy, for Tuesday? All right, let's do one more deep dive into the data before we bring this one down for a close. And again, Lions, Red Creek, I like you, generally speaking, just about where we said. This will warrant a winter weather advisory, in my opinion, for most, if not all, of Western and Central New York. So Lions, Red Creek, that whole area, I like you for 4 to 6 inches of snow. So hopefully that helps. All right, guys, thank you very much for being here. As always, we appreciate it. Be sure to like and share this page if you have an opportunity. And for more weather information, be sure to join Lisa and I tonight as we cover news, politics, and weather. That'll be at 8:45 tonight. That's Weather Live at 8:45. That is a Facebook program. When the weather gets heavy enough, we will simulcast that here. But tonight's show, likely Facebook only, so be sure to find me. All right, guys, thank you very much for your time. Enjoy the rest of your weekend if we don't talk sooner. And we will, my friend, talk soon. Bye.